When Tony Caligiuri was a small boy, he became a loyal reader of Jack O'Connor, then the most prolific author and the most widely read sporting magazine writer of his time. In particular, Tony was fascinated with Jack's stories about pack train trips after the wild sheep, moose, and grizzly bear that abounded in a wild land to the north known as the Yukon. A veteran of numerous pack train trips into sheep country, Tony decides to trade saddle sores for boat oars when he booked a hunt deep into the Yukon after two of its most prized trophies, the stone sheep and the giant Alaska Yukon moose. Join Boyd Harness Company's president Tony Caligiuri on the adventure of a lifetime as he floats the wild rivers of the Yukon and we open the pages of Trigicon's World of Sports Afield.
Trigicon's World of Sports Afield has been brought to you by Trigicon, Brilliant Aiming Solutions, DSC, the Dallas Safari Club, Ruger Firearms, Hornady Manufacturing, Accurate, Deadly, Dependable, the Wildlife Gallery Custom Taxidermy Studio, Leica Sport Optics, Boyd Harness Company, Global Rescue, anytime, anywhere. The Wild Sheep Foundation. And by Les Chameaux, handcrafted since 1927. Travel is a part of most big game adventures, and even more so on trips to the more remote areas of the North Country. Commercial flights into Whitehorse certainly shorten the travel time compared to the old days when even this destination was only reached after considerable time and travel.
We're in Whitehorse. We just landed. All our luggage got here. We're hoping rifles will get here. Whitehorse is a famous jumping off spot for big game hunting in the Northland for sheep and grizzly and moose and caribou. So we're excited. It's the first time I've been here in a while, and we'll see how the hunt goes. Well, it's another great fall day in the Yukon. We're in Whitehorse in front of the famous Edgewater Hotel, which has been the jumping off point for big game hunters in the Yukon for years and years and years. We're waiting for the shuttle to take us to the charter, and we're going to fly into camp in the Ogilvie Mountains and the Blackstone River, and hopefully the weather will hold up, and by this time tomorrow morning we'll be chasing some sheep.
From Whitehorse, the hunters took a charter flight to a remote airstrip where they met up with outfitter Jim Fink of Blackstone Outfitters and their individual guides. From there, a small bush plane will take them on the last leg of their journey into the hunting area. Patience and the ability to enjoy the entire experience, including the travel, is an important element on the wilderness hunt.
In the Yukon on the South Ogilvie River. We're going to try a little bit different tactic to hunt sheep today. We're going to get in a raft and float the river and glass up and see what we can see. We're ready to go down the river and see what we find, catch a few grayling and maybe see a moose or grizzly and hopefully some sheep.
Our journey into the wild Yukon is underway when Trigicon's World of Sports Afield returns. The Hunting Tradition, brought to you by Dallas Safari Club.
I'm Diana Rupp, Editor-in-Chief of Sports Afield magazine, with this week's installment of The Hunting Tradition. One of the first people to hunt all four varieties of North American wild sheep was Charles Sheldon. Sheldon was hunting desert sheep in Sonora way back in the 1890s, but he is most well known for hunting and writing about his hunts in British Columbia, Yukon, and Alaska. In a book called The Wilderness of the Upper Yukon, he included a map of the color variations between Dall, Fannin, and stone sheep, which is still considered very accurate. Sheldon was as much a naturalist as a hunter, and he documented the distribution and habits of sheep as well as the terrain they lived in. He shot more than 100 wild sheep throughout his life, but horn size wasn't particularly important to him. You can learn more about the hunting tradition in every issue of Sports Afield and at sportsafield.com.
The Yukon is big country, yet the game can be elusive in its vastness. Tony had tags for sheep, moose, wolf, and mountain grizzly, any of which could appear around the next bend in the river.
I've had a chance to hunt with lots of guides in British Columbia, the Yukon, and Alaska, and I always get lucky and get a great guide, and Ryan sure fits that profile. Probably the coolest thing is the way he mouth calls moose, and we've had several bulls that have just rushed where we've had to actually run back to the boat in fear of getting knocked over by these bulls, because he makes them think that he's the prettiest moose in town.
He's in love with Ryan. He's still standing here. I don't think he's gonna go.
No, he didn't want to leave.
You'll probably hang your picture on a tree tonight.
Yeah.
2,000 pounds of Viagra-inspired terror.
As the miles slid underneath their raft, the days ticked off the calendar. Yet the game of move, glass, hike, and hope played out as the hunters made their way downriver.
One of the toughest things on a sheep hunt is that you have to deal with the elements, weather included. It's really tough on you mentally. You're going to sleep tired every night, crawling in a sleeping bag, you're getting up early. This hunt is as important mentally as it is physically, and you just have to not quit. You just have to keep going and know that around the next bend might be a basin with some sheep or a gravel bar with a moose. Ryan had said that there's an eagle's nest there, and that sometimes if you look at the base of the tree, you'll find feathers. So we made a short hike up here to it, and it's almost like a rainforest in here, but if you look hard enough, the feathers just kind of start appearing out of the ground. Pretty neat little diversion.
There's a moose. There's a moose. It's what? Yeah.
Cross. We just spotted a great big bull. He's just downstream about 300 yards. The wind's at our back. Hopefully that doesn't bother him. We're gonna go down. I'm gonna cow call, try and bring him across to this gravel bar. Okay, let's go.
Yep, I'm ready.
9 days into the hunt. And we got ourselves a giant bull moose. Big bull moose. Oh. Congratulations.
Thanks,
That's
Ryan.
a giant.
He's a big bull. He's hit good too. I don't know
hit
why,
him good both times.
but I'm not sure.
The good news was that a record book moose was down. The bad news was that it was in 3 feet of water. With muscle and North Country ingenuity, Ryan and Tony moved their trophy into the shallows, where the trophy photos and butchering could be accomplished.
That's amazing. 9th day of the hunt. Tomorrow's the fly out day. Kind of thinking, well, it's going to be a bust, and then we come around the corner and we see this huge bull, and you call him back out of the willows, and pretty good shot. Just one shot killed him, and we anchored him with a second in the shoulder there. But tremendous bull. I think he's got, I don't know, almost 40 total points. Huge fronts, wide paddles. I guess he's 65 inches wide or so.
Yeah.
And I can't thank you enough, man.
You're
What
welcome.
a way to end a hunt.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Tony set his sights on the wild rams of the Yukon. We're on the Sheep Mountain, where Tom's World of Sports Afield returns.
It's amazing how things happen on a hunt. You get down to the last day or the last day and a half and you resolve yourself, well, I'm going home with nothing, but that's not what it's all about. It's all about the adventure and the hunt, and it wasn't a big deal. I was feeling great, but we just happened to look up in a basin right above where we were standing in the water, and we see some ewes and lambs, and pretty soon 2 rams come along. So when we got the moose packed up in the boat, we made a camp, and the next morning we got up early, and finally the sheep started coming out of their beds as the sun came on them, and about 11 o'clock we found the 2 rams again, and one looked really good, big heavy old sheep, and even though it was 3 miles to where he was, we decided to pack our backpacks and rifles and go after him. I was excited and we were ready to go, so up the mountain we went, albeit I didn't go up the mountain as fast as my guide did.
We actually saw some rams while we were butchering the moose, and floated downriver a little ways, and the rams have kind of stayed on the mountain and walked to the north, and that's where we're heading. We're getting ready to go up the mountain, so it's game time.
Day 10, we got half a day left. There's one good ram in the bunch. He looks good. We got about a 4-hour climb up to the top of this mountain, a couple thousand feet in elevation, and hope for the best here. We're gonna give her a good shot anyways, eh, Tony?
Hey, that's it.
We got climbing up this mountain, and it was steep, extremely steep. Even by my guide's standard, it was steep. Wasn't a long way to the sheep, but it was almost straight up.
Climbing a sheep mountain is never easy, but Tony was doing it on the heels of a serious knee surgery, making each vertical foot a gut check. But the sheep were not moving fast, and Tony continued his ascent at as steady of a pace as the pain in his knee and lungs would allow. Slow and steady is the proven method for success in the world's sheep mountains. Tony faces the sheep hunter's moment of truth when Trijicon's World of Sports Afield returns. And now, Inside the Hunt, brought to you by Hornady. Choosing the right equipment for your next hunt is an important pre-hunt ritual for the serious sportsman. Equally important, yet often overlooked, is the need for quality travel gear that will protect your belongings between home and camp. This is especially important on hunts overseas or into remote areas that tend to be especially hard on luggage. Whitehorse is the world's premier manufacturer of quality gun cases, hunting accessories, and specialty hunting clothing. Today, the majority of traveling sportsmen lean toward the more versatile duffel-style bag, and for a good reason. A duffel is easier to fit into the restricted spaces of charter aircraft, a reality on many remote or overseas hunts. Travel can be brutal on equipment, and the wise hunter will invest in the very best gear available. Boyd Harness Company designs products that stand up to the rigors of real-world travel, where quality construction and durability result in gear that will serve the hunter for a lifetime. Hours of lung-burning climbing had finally brought Ryan and Tony into reach of the ram's last known location. But there were many folds and cuts on this mountain.
Stand up. Slow. Hunted way around the corner. Okay, let's go this way. I didn't see those rams down there. We'll just keep heading up and keep our eyes peeled.
The sheep had obviously climbed over the ridge, so the hunters carefully continued to climb, always keeping a watchful eye on the skyline.
One of the smaller rams actually came over the ridge, but we froze solid, let him walk back over, and then we hand crawled up the mountain. And unbelievably, my guide dropped to all fours and said, "Shoot him," and the big ram was standing about 40 yards ahead of us. The rams crossed the ridge, and we got up there and threw down his pack. The rams were at 285 yards, and he told me bottom ram right. Well, my first shot was about 6 inches low from where I wanted to be. And then I woke up really quick to where I was supposed to be and held on the top of the ram and was able to kill him with a real good shoulder shot at 280 yards is what we ranged it. Holy shit.
Oh! Woo!
10th day, 10th hour, and a dead ram.
5.5 hours of daylight left. We come up over the hill, Tony and I. We climbed just over 2,000 feet of elevation. Come up over the hill, ram pinned me, I hit the deck. Ram started to run, Tony shot. He missed him. And then Tony on a mad dash and a sprint got up here, I laid the pack down. Ram got out to about 250 yards. Tony shot once, a little bit low, clipped him. And then one more shot, put him down.
That ram's over 300 now. Last shot.
Wow. Hey, we're here.
Thank you.
How was that?
Thank you.
How's that?
Thank you.
How's that for a sheep hunt?
That was a classic sheep hunt. Unbelievable sheep hunt. This sheep hunting's hard on an old man. That is an old ram. That is an ancient ram. Holy smokes.
Tony,
He is gorgeous.
right here.
Oh, thank you, man.
You're welcome.
Oh, look at how deep that curl is. Wow. All the way around. 12?
12 years old.
Wow.
How's that for a sheep?
Oh. Holy.
Is he old enough?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what I want. Look, he's gorgeous colored. He is a true fan in sheep.
Yep. He sure is.
You know, this is amazing for me, other than my wife and my family. The thing that's most important to me is a wilderness type hunt. And I literally dream about sheep and sheep hunting
pretty much every day of the year. It gets in your blood and you can't get it out. And extreme mountain hunting for a guy my age with an artificial knee is not an easy thing to do. And you always try and test yourself and see, can I do this again? Can I do this again? And to me, sheep hunting is that's the wood that keeps the fire burning. And I've never seen an 80-year-old man that said, I wished I hadn't hunted so much. I've seen lots of them that said, I wish I would have went hunting more. And I just want to be able to say when I'm older that I took every opportunity I could to hunt sheep. And I can't think of anything in the world that's neater to me. When I was a kid, I bought an Outdoor Life that had 2 doll sheep on the cover. I was in 6th grade, it cost 35 cents, and I've been hooked ever since. And I'm a huge Jack O'Connor fan and a huge fan of the historical outfitting side of the Yukon. And it's really cool for me to read about that and think about it all year, and then maybe once in a while get to spend 2 weeks in the mountain actually walking in the footsteps of the early guys that did it.
Trigicon's World of Sports Afield has been brought to you by Trigicon, Brilliant Aiming Solutions, DSC, the Dallas Safari Club, Ruger Firearms, Hornady Manufacturing, accurate, deadly, dependable. The Wildlife Gallery Custom Taxidermy Studio, Leica Sport Optics, Boyd Harness Company, Global Rescue, anytime, anywhere. The Wild Sheep Foundation, and by Les Chameaux, handcrafted since 1927. Closed captioning by Les Chameaux, available at orbis.com/Les Chameaux.